Guys, do we have a lot to catch up on? Now, we've been on a lot of adventures the past few years, and it all started with my uncle, bless his heart, sent me a cool prototype thing that we did not know how to work, and our friend Lady Shark was getting a little too curious, so she gets yeeted out of existence. And so Matt and I tried to find my uncle's lab, and we get there, and we had to play a few games just to get past the security, and Matt's not good at video games, but somehow we actually pulled it off, and we find my uncle who says that Lady Shark has entered
Game City.
And Matt and I were like, what? And Uncle was like, we gotta send someone. And I was like, I'm good at video games. But Uncle gave Matt the serum thing, so he had to go, so we were like, okay. Now, Matt went into Game City, and we started talking about how Matt was being like Jesus a little bit. He was entering Game City to save someone, like Jesus did for us. So we explained to Uncle Lloyd that we need a savior. We're sinners who need saving. We lost, but Jesus won. Uncle was like, okay. And then Matt entered a portal to complete the first challenge, and he won, because I learned how to hack in a hammer. Not just any hammer, Thor's hammer. And not just any Thor, Thor. Now we're waiting for the next challenge, and we explained to Uncle Lloyd that, like a video game, we can choose our character. As in, we can choose the type of person we want to be. We can choose to follow Jesus, and we get a new identity as God's kid. Then we showed Uncle Lloyd footage of people following Jesus. He was like, okay. Then, a space battle. Now, I hack Matt a power-up, he wins, but something starts getting glitchy and weird. And then Matt gets sucked into this portal thing and it goes all VR. And he loses control, and then things calm down for a sec until Vicky tells us that Game City wasn't controlling Lady Shark. Lady Shark was controlling Game City. And we were like, what? Then the ultimate showdown between Matt and Lady Shark. Matt dies, but then uses his new life, and this is me. I hack with my heart, and then Matt uses the Force, okay? And the game resets, and we only got 5 minutes to save them? Okay, so I push a ton of buttons, and we do it. We save the day. Lady Shark is safe, and Uncle Lloyd chooses Jesus and gets baptized. No more adventures. Until boom, Matt has a vision. Lady Shark might be dying. We try and digitize Matt's vision, and then Uncle remembers about Jesus and was like, Jesus is our only way to life. And we were like, yeah, a life that lasts forever. Then the vision shows up, and we see a shark thing that leads us to Uncle Boyd. And I was like, I have another uncle? And Uncle Boyd was like,
I have a nephew? Just kidding. I knew that.
whatever. Now we have to find Lady Shark's DNA to save her, and Uncle Boyd says that we need a special journal, but it's locked up in the National Library of Brazil. Yes, it is in Rio de Janeiro. And Uncle Boyd was like, only Gavin can come, and we were like, okay. So, yeah, this one. We get to Brazil, we take the journal without asking, and then Matt and Uncle Lloyd help me to escape security. Oh, yeah, then they hug. Precious. Now we talk about how when we choose Jesus, we are all a part of God's family, and we find our family through Jesus. So Matt and Uncle Lloyd become brothers, in a sense. So the hug works. Speaking of brothers, Uncle Lloyd's brother takes me away after I grab the journal, and we travel all across South America to try and find the tomb. And then we take a look at Jones's journal, and that's when we discover the feud between humans and the shark people that we won't get into, and the story of King Slackamorpha and
his sarcophagus.
Oh, we see Lady Shark in the journal? We were like, cool. And Uncle Boyd is like, I'm gonna be rich. So I turn on the tracker so that Uncle Lloyd and Matt know where I am. And Uncle Lloyd takes a nap while I look through the journal and the poem and figure out we gotta be there at sunrise. So we're walking through the jungle where I start talking to Uncle Boyd about Jesus being amazing and the greatest adventure ever when we choose to follow him. And he was like, nah, ugh. But then we see the temple and we go into it. Now, inside, it's dark and scary, but we find the tomb and Uncle Boyd only sees sand and he hates sand.
It's rough and coarse, and it doesn't make me rich.
Oh, and then I find the tooth. Then Uncle Boyd touches a panel, and then a huge wall separates us. Uncle Boyd is a meanie and leaves, and then, yeah, I call Uncle Lloyd, but Matt and Lady Shark are passed out, and I was like, what? And then I touch the panel, And that wakes Matt up, and he tells me to go into the sarcophagus. And I was like, what? And he was like, trust me. And I was like, okay. So I get in, and a lot of things happen. And then I show up in the lab and show them the tooth. And we were like,
Yay, 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 yay,
and
yay!
we analyzed the tooth, but then Lady Shark and Matt pass out again, and we were like, what? And then we find a cure. But was it too late? No, it wasn't. Matt wakes up, and then we tell him, Lady Shark just needed a cough drop. Then Uncle Boyd calls in and won't accept Uncle Lloyd's forgiveness and love, because to him, Jesus is
Boring!
We know Jesus is the best. All right, but we discovered that Lady Shark and her people are from space, which is cool. But Lady Shark and Matt are safe, which was the important thing. We are all happy and everything is fine, and nothing will happen ever again because the adventure is over. Or so we thought. Whoa, what is that, you think, huh? What was that sound? Let's listen again. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I guess you'll have to come to camp this summer to find out what that's all about. That's right. This summer, we are on another adventure in space. And we're gonna learn about how the power of Jesus can set us free and give us peace. And we're gonna learn what it means to choose the fight of faith and to trust Jesus to help us through anything. And we're also gonna find out what's happening with Lady Shark and the crew. So if you wanna come along this next adventure with us, then join us this summer in space!